to this edition of School Notes. I'm Sierra Lewis. Spring is right around the corner, and we have some stories that take you outside of the classroom. Hampton elementary, middle, and high school students learned about our local waterways by taking a trip on the Spirit of the James pontoon boat. Thanks to a $360,000 grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, students got to examine and catalog sea life.
How about kiss the crab? Everybody want to kiss the crab?
And we try to educate students all up and down the James River watershed. The James River is 340 miles. It starts in Covington, Virginia, and it ends here in Hampton. And every person that lives in the watershed has an impact or a role. Filter feeders. Oysters are filter feeders.
Our students have been raising oysters, so periodically I bring the oysters in and we measure their growth and track them with that data. We also, through our curriculum, have been learning different things about adaptations and classification keys to prepare them for this trip.
We've been learning about how our water quality is and about all of the animals that are in our ocean and how we can help the ocean. And we've been learning how to use classification keys.
We were looking at writing a grant to do environmental literacy because Governor McAuliffe's new environmental literacy agreement, Chesapeake Bay Agreement, and we decided that we wanted to make sure we could start getting this together and start working through this and be able to offer a meaningful watershed educational experience. So we started this summer. We had about 30 teachers come out and we kind of offered a bunch of different training, and we have a lot of things already written in our curriculum from the state that actually have to be addressed.
And I think the Naked Goby has a pattern on it. What are the pattern does it have?
Right.
So write that down. One of our missions at the James River Association is to be advocates of the river, and we want students to understand that the James River is a great natural resource and that we want them to protect and understand all that the resource has to offer.
Oh, I think they're getting a great hands-on experience, real-world knowledge, making those connections. It's not just, me talking to them in the classroom and showing them videos or showing them pictures, but they're getting out into the environment and finding that out for themselves, which is great because a lot of these kids that I teach don't have that opportunity or that advantage.
The Hampton City Schools Honor Chorus and Band held their concert at Davis Middle School. School Notes reporter Xavier Williams was on hand and shared this report.
Middle school students from all over Hampton had the chance to be a part of the Hampton City Schools Honor Band and Chorus. Band students auditioned in January for placement into the band. Band students only had a short period of time to practice for the big performance.
We start working on all of the fundamentals at the beginning of the school year, and the students use those fundamentals for an audition that we have. And this year we doubled the number of students that came to do the audition and doubled the number of students who came to and were accepted into the group. So it's exciting for us. Mr. Chenault is our director this year, and he is not only a band director and was band director for many years, but is a principal in a school district in Chesapeake. So he's very highly qualified and picks some very exciting music for our students. So we're really glad to have him.
Tell me about how it feels to work with a director you've never met in your life.
I think it's challenging, but you get used to it after the first day, and then when you're with him for the full day, the next day, I think you get used to it. So it's challenging, but it's easier after you know him. It feels good. I think it's a big accomplishment to be here. Even though you're not at district, I made it to all cities, so I think it's pretty cool to be in this with all these other kids from other schools.
Tell me what the audition process was like for Hampton City Schools Honor Band.
Well, you had to do 1 out of 4 scales and a chromatic scale and sight reading to get in honor band.
It definitely was high pressure. I was extremely scared, but after my chromatic scale, that's when I started to be more confident.
What is the best thing about being at band in Hampton City Schools?
Playing the music. The music is definitely the best thing because it makes you feel some type of way when different types of music are played.
Chorus students were selected by the chorus directors from their school. The chorus members were under the direction of Miss Wanda Mitchell, who was the guest conductor. During the intermission, the audience members were treated with the sounds of the Hampton City Schools Steel Drum Band.
The criteria is citizenship, being able to follow directions, learning their parts, being able to conduct themselves in a like manner so that they are able to be leaders on the stage and off of the stage. They had to be diligent about learning their parts, so we listened very carefully. We watched their behavior because they have to be able to interact with each other. It's not all about one person, but it's the team. Together, everybody achieves more.
Being selected is actually really huge. Like, you're here with a bunch of other people. It's a new experience if you haven't done it before. So it's just something really new that you get to go through, and you get to meet a lot of people.
Well, actually, it's really phenomenal because I've never been picked like this before. Like, this is really huge for me, and it feels awesome.
It feels nice because I'm surrounded by kids who are doing the same thing as me, and it influenced me to do better.
The music students enjoyed being able to make good music and meet new people. In just a few short days, they were able to put a performance together to show their families and friends. Reporting for School Notes, I'm Xavier Williams.
Tucker Caps is one of 4 elementary schools with a recently completed breezeway enclosure. The front of the school has a new entrance designed to protect students from the elements and provides a call box with a camera for visitors to the school.
3, 2, 1.
The importance of the breezeway, first and foremost, is safety. We have an extra layer of security, especially since everyone entering during the school day has to come directly into the office, and they can't just come in the building and walk around. So that's been very important, but also just to add to the beauty of the school. This breezeway is absolutely beautiful, and the fact that our team, our teachers, were able to meet together and come up with some ways to decorate it and make it, look like Tucker Caps, and that was a lot of fun for them, getting the pillows made and getting some plants and painting the handprints. So it's helped a lot with the weather, because since our students are picked up by cars, they have to wait till we call their name, and now we don't have to be outside because they can wait in here when they're sheltered from the weather. So it's been a plus.
Students at Bethel High School attended a special presentation by the Hampton Roads Naval Museum. The presentation was called Blacks in Blue, and students learned about what roles African Americans have had in the Navy.
My hope is when they leave today that they walk away with an understanding that no organization is perfect. Certainly there are some blemishes on the Navy's record over the last 240 years, yet there are some real highlights where the Navy was well ahead of society, specifically looking at the civil rights movement. The Navy was probably 10 years out in front of the civil rights movement.
I really liked the presentation. There's a lot of stuff that were striking to me with Admiral Elmo, how he changed a lot of things about the U.S. Navy, how he made it integrated and no more segregation. I really enjoyed that part. We have the option to go back and just basically revisit the things that people have done to protect and serve this country, that the things that people have done to make this country so great the way it is, that we can go and just pay attention to that. I think it's good.
What stood out to me was Michelle Howard, her. I was like, yeah, she was the first black female to do it, so that's what stood out to me. She was the first one to get like 4 stars in her rank. I don't know why, it was just like, I feel like I could relate to her in a way, because I want to be in the Navy, and I'm a black female.
And what I try to do with the students is to interact with them, give them the opportunity to discuss back and forth, and then I take some of my years in the Navy, nearly 30 years in the Navy, and 10 years at the museum that apply here today with the understanding that yes, things have changed, certainly in my opinion, and I think everyone's opinion, for the better.
It's important to remember history because you want to remember how we got here, how from where we were in the past to now. It's important to learn from mistakes and improve upon good ideas.
If you like pie, pay attention to this next story about some 6th graders from Davis Middle School who used Legos to create a visual representation of this mathematical concept.
This is pie, and this is pie.
So we are having Spirit Week here at Davis Middle School, and our first day, since it falls on March 14th, is Pie Day. So students and staff were encouraged to dress up representing pie.
It's fun for the students to be able to prove the math they work with, and we can do it with the circle and the diameter, and that's what the students are doing. They're proving their math.
We're doing pie, an activity that we've been learning in the classroom for a while now. It's about math, like circumference, like the circle. Can measure the middle of the circle or around the circle, or like if we go half of the circle, we could measure that.
Our Lego wall. And the Lego wall has examples of our math pie as well as a slice of pie, which our students are going to enjoy in a few minutes as a slice of pie. We've discussed pie before we got here today, and the Lego wall is making it a visual presence that they will remember. So they will be able to remember the conversion of pi to 3.14, and it's a celebration of Pi Day in March.
And so now that we have our Lego wall, we're using it for class projects, for our clubs, and for learning experiences.
I need a 4.
Recently, Hampton City Schools participated in the Regional Transition Fair. The fair is a great opportunity for students and parents to learn about resources available like disability services at the college level and assistive technology.
This is a fair that we have for Newport News, Hampton, York County, Williamsburg, and Poquoson Public Schools, along with Department of Aging and Rehabilitative Services and the Community Services Board. We work together to provide supports and services for families and students with disabilities. Probably 30 to 40 vendors, and then we have people coming in to do different workshops so families can come and spend 45 to 50 minutes working with the presenter on specific topics like autism, strategies for dealing with autism. We have lots of different resources that can just give information so parents can know that there are services out there. Even though a lot of times things are cut back, there's still a lot of things that are out there to support them with transitioning from high school to post-secondary activities.
Let's check out what's happening on our social media pages. On Facebook, Kecoughtan High School held a paint night, and all of their proceeds go to an Art Honor Society College Scholarship Fund. You can see students from Burbank Elementary practicing for a spelling bee, and Spratley Gifted Center 5th graders visited the Hampton History Museum as an extension to their architecture unit. Students toured downtown Hampton and made a model of the area. On Twitter, students from Andrews Pre-K through 8 celebrated Pi Day by throwing pies at their assistant principals. And here you see a video of students at Craft Elementary flipping coins to learn about probability. There's so much more happening, so keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us for this edition of School Notes. We'll leave you with the sounds of the HCS Steel Drum Band. Remember, it's every child, every day, whatever it takes. We'll see you next time.